paid off, get that behind you. What's your thinking there?
Well, it has to be done properly. I would, if somebody's in their 30s and 40s, I would rather have them max out their 401k plan, and do the right things first before they reduce their mortgage debt. It is a goal for most clients in my practice to have their mortgage paid off by the time they retire, if you will. I'm not opposed to these people out there with 2 or 3% mortgages to hold on to them. That's not a problem for me. It's for the most part, I want people to have their mortgages paid off. And the reason for that is from a tax point of view, the standard deduction for a married couple is over $30,000 right now. So if you have a $500,000 mortgage and you're at 5% interest, okay, that's $25,000 a year in mortgage interest. You have your real estate taxes and some charity, you're barely getting to that number. Most people are not getting to get the deduction from mortgage interest because their standard deduction is so high. And they think they're getting this great tax write-off when under tax reform, when President Trump came in, that really isn't the case anymore. So there's not a big tax advantage for doing that. The second thing is when you're leveraging your mortgage against the stock market in retirement, not for people in their 30s and 40s, but for people in retirement, the stock market often has long periods of time of zero performance. So if you're retiring at 65 and we have another 1999 to 2008 on our hands, 1929 to 1944, the Arab oil embargo in the 1970s, you're seeing your money go down in value and you're paying interest. That's a really bad thing to have happen. The market's gone down 5 times by almost 50% in the last 100 years. If there was 100 houses in your neighborhood and 5 of them were burning down, you would make sure you had the right insurance in place, if you will. I think it's too big of a risk to be carrying a mortgage in retirement and then having to pay for groceries during a bear market and still pay mortgage interest. I think it's a huge mistake. I was proven right on it in 2008. And for people in their 30s and 40s, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it for people that have pensions, especially if they have cost of living increases. I have a problem with people having mortgages. They're leveraging it against the stock market in retirement. This bit, I'm going to make 8 to 10% a year. It shakes out that way over long periods of time, but if you, and I put these returns actually in Too Smart to Be an Umpire, I outline the last 30 years of performance. People can look for themselves and see what the S&P 500 did every year. So I also think a lot of market returns come from the behavior of the investor. And when the stock market goes down 20 or 30% and you're paying mortgage interest, people panic. And that's when they sell. We're managing $800 million. When the stock market goes down 10 or 20%, we may get 1 or 2 phone calls in a 6-week period of time. Okay, not 6 hours, 6 weeks, because people have been coached through those scenarios and they know they're okay with the way we've arranged their finances. So you're not getting the tax deduction that you think you're getting. And at the worst possible time for you to take on risk in your 60s and 70s, I just think the mortgage payment is like a bond equivalent, if you will. And again, I write a chapter and a half on the mortgage interest deduction in my book. But there's always exceptions. So it's not an absolute, but it's like a 90% in my view.
Well, let me throw something out. It was a recent decision I made, and you're most welcome to say, "Hey, Craig, I think you made a mistake." That won't bother
Right.
me.
Sure.
But we moved back in December, and I took out a small mortgage on our new house. And
Right.
the thought was basically this. I followed some economists that are saying, hey, they've been predicting high inflation forever, for 16 years or more. And they say that, the taming of the current inflation is just temporary. It's going to start ticking up again. I remember one of my professors in school said, inflationary times are great times to be borrowers. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this chunk of money. Decided I'd rather invest